So partial equilibrium analysis of a welfare effect of a tariff is what we'll be looking at here for an importing country. Okay, so we're looking at a particular country that has, we're looking at market for a good, say, apples, just to be concrete. There's a price and there's a quantity in this given country. Okay, so there's a domestic demand curve. So this is how much consumers in this country want to buy at different prices. Okay, it's typical. The lower price, the more apples do people want to buy. Then we have a domestic supply curve. So this would be, in this case, apples by domestic apple growers. Okay, some apple growing region in whatever country we're looking at. Maybe there are a lot of suppliers that are, willing to supply apples. They need a price as typical above zero to start supplying, and then once some of them are supplying, the higher the price, the more they will be willing to supply. Okay. Now we're looking at a country that's importing country. So let's look at the world market price, like so. So this is the world market price. So this is a small open economy, like Sweden, or I think even smaller, Liechtenstein, whatever. It sees a world market. There's lots of other countries that are growing and demanding apples, and there's going to be world market price. You could look at, I don't know, Financial Times or whatever to see what the world market price is on a given day for a given type of apple, say. Okay, so if for no tariffs, just free trade, how much would be produced domestically in this country will be given here. So all the units where the supply curve is below the world market price, that supply in some sense would be competitive, and those apples would be supplied by domestic producers. How much would be demanded? Well, that depends on where the world market price intersects with domestic demand curve. This is a price that domestic consumers would be seeing, and this is how much they would be consuming. Okay, but now we're assuming that there's a tariff. Okay, so foreign producers who are exporting to this country, or similarly the importers, doesn't really matter, would need to pay a tariff. So unit tax, we could think of it as per unit of imported tariffs. So if the tariff is, €1 per kilo, say, well, then that's what you would be paying. If you're importing 5 kilos, you would be paying as an importer €5 for that. Okay, so this is world market price plus the tariff. Okay, so the difference between these is the tariff. Okay, so the tariff in euros, dollars, rupees, whatever that you're paying per unit. Okay, so what are the welfare effects of this? How can we compare the welfare? So we're going to be comparing to the welfare if there's no tariff. As we said, we're only looking here at the importing country. We can do the corresponding analysis for the exporting country. So with the tariff, how much would be produced domestically? Well, this much. So QS domestic. So domestic supply. The price that will be established on the domestic market for Apple, say, will be, whatever's world market price plus the tariff. Under that price, all these units are going to be competitive in the sense that they're going to have lower marginal cost than the world market price plus a tariff, and they're going to be able to supply the goods on the domestic market. How much is demanded? This price, well, that's going to be given by where the world market price and tariff intersect the domestic demand curve. So QD DOM. Okay, and this quantity here will be imported. Okay, so this country, people are consuming more than they're producing, they're importing. What about the welfare effects of this? We're comparing then with the free trade case. So there's essentially going to be an area between these two curves. Okay, so if we're thinking from the consumer perspective, what happens to consumer surplus? Well, they're consuming less. There's a loss in consumer surplus corresponding to the area D. They're paying more for the apples that they are consuming. How much more? Well, that corresponds to the area ABC. Okay, so consumer surplus decreases by areas ABC, D. Domestic producers, on the other hand, they gain. Okay, so the price went up. If you're supplying, this is you like that. Your producer surplus goes up. Goes up by what area? Well, we remember the producer surplus is a difference between the price that you're getting and what you would be willing to supply for. Okay, so that goes up by this area A here. Okay, so part of the welfare effect here is a reshuffling of domestic consumers to domestic producers. That's area A, so that will cancel. So we still have areas B, C, D here in some sense that were losses to consumer surplus, but are still there to be accounted for. Okay, part of this, the area C, is what? Well, it's the tariff revenue. Remember, so it's tariff. You can think of it as an import tax per unit. How many units are imported? Well, this many units. So tax times quantity. So import the tariff revenue. So that's the area C. That's a tariff revenue. Okay, so that's cancels out from consumer surplus if we're thinking of this as a one-to-one cancellation. Okay, so this is going to be used for providing education, healthcare, defense, whatever the country in question is doing with the public funds. Okay, so that also cancels out in the welfare cancellation, but then we have the areas B and D that are going to be a deadweight loss associated with the tariff. Okay, so this is areas where, simplifying with D here, consumers would be willing to pay this much. In principle, there's a world market that's willing to supply it for less, but because of the tariff, the beneficial trade does not appear. Okay. So just as with other cases when there's a deadweight loss, whenever the costs and benefits don't match up, there's some overall loss towards for that. Okay, and that's not saying that tariffs can never be motivated or taxes or subsidies can never be motivated, but it's saying what are the costs. That's clearly something that we have to weigh against the benefits. Okay. That's it.